Great. Welcome to Digital Asset News. My name is Rob, and today we got a lot of stuff to go over. So let's just jump right in. First, we're going to talk about the markets, what's going on, and how it's correlated or uncorrelated. Then we're going to talk about why people are missing out. This is a new survey that I took a look at. I was just shocked that of the responses that you got. Also, we'll take a look at the Cardano'S Vasil upgrade and what it is, how far along it is, and why I think it's a pretty big opportunity just for some things that's really been going along quite swimmingly. And lastly, we'll take a look at a project called Cornucopias, which is built on Cardano, and it's a P2E, B2E, and L2E, which is kind of interesting. And lastly, we'll do a little Q&A. So first things first, let's take a look what's going on into the markets. Today, it is the 23rd, I think, somewhere around there. And market's kind of boring, I must admit. So, or 24th, excuse me. 24th, 1 p.m. or so. Mountain time. And yeah, I mean, nothing a big concern or anything to go right home about. Bitcoin's down, Bitcoin's up a little bit, 0.6, Ethereum's up a little bit, 0.8. But I mean, just for 24 hours, that's great. That's cute. It's adorable. But if you take a look at the 7-day, we're still down pretty heavy. And we're at 1.09 trillion. I don't expect that to last for a while. But I mean, today is just one of those days where it's just kind of bumping sideways, very boring. That's exactly what's going on. And I really don't related. Well, kinda. S&P 500's up a little bit. We're up a little bit. NASDAQ's up a little bit. But if you take a look, again, over 7 days, we're not looking too hot. Take a look at S&P 500 over 5 days, same thing. We're not looking too hot either. NASDAQ, not looking too hot. I mean, they're down as well. So again, when you're taking a look at these things, just remember, it's all about what I call teeter-totter or the portfolio balance. You want to balance some type of risk. So I want to say a shout out thanks to a sponsor of the channel, Masterworks. So when something is going down, you want another part to go up. One part goes down, you want another part to go up. So crypto goes down, hey, maybe if the housing market goes up, that'd be best. So for me, like I have a couple of these fractionalized shares of artwork. I got two, a Banksy and a Basquiat. No idea who a Basquiat is. Well, I learned a little bit. Banksy, yeah, I know a little bit about that one. But it's just fractionalized shares of artwork. And then so far since I've invested in October 2021, I'm up 40%. Which is pretty nice if you think about it, because the performance has been pretty good year over year. And this is their last returns that they've had. And one thing that's interesting to me is that Masterworks, these fractionalized shares of art, they outperform right now the traditional markets, and they're outperforming crypto right now. So they're up above Russell, NASDAQ, S&P 500, and they're up 15% for the year. And you know why? Because rich people are crazy. That's why. This is a Banksy piece of art, and it sold for $25.4 million, the one that was shredded. The original one that Banksy made, that sold for $1.6 million. It originally and then it immediately got shredded. And then some rich people go, that sounds good. I'm going to buy that, because they don't really care what's going on. They're rich. So just remember, if you're looking into it as a way to balance a portfolio, this is just what I do. I'm not telling you what to do, but they are registered with the SEC because these are securities, and just makes sense to me. And you can find them right there on the website. If you want to skip the line, again, everything I have in the comments or the description is affiliate links. You don't have to use them, but if you do, you'll skip the wait list, and you can check that out. So that's what's going on. Now that I want to talk to you real quick about this survey. And I think this is more relevant for people that are just getting in. Like, if you've been here for a while, which I assume you have been because you're here right now. If you just got in and around 2021, a lot of you left, and that's okay, because I get it, because it's very tough. But I think people are missing the big point. Again, this isn't really talking to you, but I just want to share with you some of the mentality of the basic investor. So this was an article from Cointelegraph. Nearly half of U.S. adults say their crypto punts are worse than expected. And I was looking at this, I'm like, really? I mean, I think I did pretty good since 2017, just taking my time, dollar cost averaging, but I get it. So this was new data from Pew Research Center survey, showed that 46% of adult crypto users in the US are seeing lower than expected returns. And I'm like, well, I guess depends on what you got in. The survey gathered responses from over 6,000 randomly selected adults across the US. The majority of respondents who said they had invested in crypto said that they saw lower than expected returns, and only 15% of the people said they had done better than what they expected. So that's really, it's pretty much half and half. 31, 15, 46. So the better than expected or about the same, and 46%. The interesting part, though, is that the people that were asked, half of them were women, but I mean, that's not a big deal. But the thing that was interesting was that people over 50 years old represented the largest sample size. So I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I wouldn't think that people over 50 would be investing that heavily into crypto. But remember, it's just a sample size of 6,000 people. Overall, I'm guessing maybe a little bit more Gen X, millennials type of investors. And then this is why. U.S. investors piled into crypto in its heyday. And if that's you, don't worry. If you got into in 2021, I got in 2017 during at the all-time high. You know why? Because numbers go up, and that's really all I cared about. I didn't understand the underpinning of the projects and what they could do. So of course, when you get in, you just want to say, oh, it's going up, and that's good. And you don't really have too much of it as far as like an investment mentality. And then when it crashes, you're like, I got to get out of here. That's just the wrong thing. U.S. investors piled into crypto. Cointelegraph reported that roughly 70% of crypto holders in the U.S. started investing in crypto, such as Bitcoin in 2021, the year which saw it reach an all-time high. Separate poll found nearly half of the more than 700 baby boomers and Gen X from all the world already own crypto or planning to buy. So again, I don't think this really relates to you, the one who is watching this show. I had a lot of people in the bull markets. They were really big into telling me what the next big project was going to be, and then those projects don't exist anymore. But it's just the same thing. It repeats over and over again. People get in 2017, they get crushed in 2018, they leave. I just didn't leave because I wanted to do as much research as I could. I just figured, look, I'm not in the business of losing money. I'll just stick around. The same thing in 2021. Some people left, and they'll probably won't come back until 2025. We have a next bull run. But the people that are here right now that are building and doing things and investing, I think those are the ones that are really going to harvest a pretty good outcome as time goes on. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. Let's move on to the piece, Cardano's Vasil upgrade. So this has been getting a pretty bad rap recently. And even Charles Hoskinson came on and was like, hey, why is everybody bitching so much about this? I don't understand. I mean, that's what the testnet, to me, that's what the testnet's supposed to be for, right? You find some errors, you patch those errors, and you move on. Thank God it wasn't on the main net, and people get, lose everything. I guess that's what bridges are for. But if you don't know, the Vasil upgrade will bring increased functionality, performance, scalability, and interoperability to Cardano through new features. And I'm not going to go through all these because I'm not a technical person. I don't think this is the channel for technical information. I'm not a developer. If you want to find somebody who's really smart and knows that, go over to Ashoshi. He's got that locked down. Put simply, Vasil is the most significant network upgrade since the deployment of staking via Shelley. The upgrade will implement widely anticipated features such as diffusion pipelining, an upgrade to the Plutus, Cardano's core smart contract language. And this is all I care about. What's diffusion pipelining? Diffusion pipelining steps things up a gear by improving block propagation times, thus enabling higher throughput or transactions per second. That's what I care about. I want to see a little bit faster. And as an investor, that's great. Now, there's some more things in here, which talks about reference inputs and inline datums and reference scripts. But if you want to read that, have fun. That almost put me to sleep. I put that in the comment section. You can check it out. But it looks like it's going to be great. So here's the thing. This is where we're at. There was a lot of issues or some issues with the testnet. They had to delay it. It was supposed to happen, I believe, in end of June, pushed out to July. Now here we are in August. I really don't care. But now here's where we're at. Cardano is halfway through the Vasil upgrade, and this is why. According to data provided by Pool Tool, it says 36% of stake pool operators have updated their node to version 1.35.3, which was released last week, although the picture shows 46%, whatever. And actually, if you go to Pool Tool, and I did link this in the description, you can check this out. See right here where it says nodes reporting version? Those are all the stake pool operators that have upgraded to 1.35.3, which is for the Vasil upgrade. And you can see that you still got 35% just kind of sitting around and waiting. That's actually us. That's the D News stake pool. We're waiting for a little bit more confirmation to see how this all works out, but we're already over the 51%. And this is the other ones are 1.33, 1.35, and that's just the 1%ers who I don't think really do too much, but I'm not for sure. So right now we're over 51%. What does that mean? I'll get into it. So IOHK, input output, has to onboard at least 25 crypto exchanges before the mainnet launch takes place in order to ensure a sufficient level of liquidity. Great. Not sure how far they are on that one. Go check out Charles Hoskinson's YouTube channel. He's always updating those types of things. I would like to have him on the show one time. That would be great. I can ask him all these questions instead of having to refer to his channel. Cardano's decentralized development community also has to rally behind the Vasil hard fork before it gets implemented. All right. Vasil upgrade was initially supposed to go live on June, been pushed back. The Alonzo hard fork was launched last September, has enabled smart contracts. ADA token has underperformed due to the testnet controversy, shedding 18% over the past week. So anyhow, there was a point in here. This is the thing. 75% of SPOs are required to upgrade their nodes before the much awaited upgrade takes place. And we're just waiting to see how it goes. But I think we might be upgrading today. Got to check with the team. But if we're at 51%, that's pretty good. The thing I wanted to focus your attention on is this. ADA tokens underperformed. It's shed 18% over the past week. 18%. And why? Did it get hacked? Was there some downtime? Was there some issue? Well, there was issues with the testnet. That's a testnet. Do you think it's going to take as long for them to get to this Vasil upgrade as much as it takes for Ethereum to get to Ethereum 2.0? I'm just kidding. It's not going to take that long. But if we're down 17%, and if you just Google Vasil upgrade news or updates, there's some pretty negative comments out there. So I can see why it's actually gone down. So, I mean, look at this. 59 cents, almost 60 cents, went down to almost 40 cents around here. So what do you think is going to happen when they come out and announce, hey, Vasil upgrade's done, everything's going good. That was the whole point of the testnet, to figure out the screw-ups. Now here we are. I think it's a good opportunity to do whatever it is that you do with that information. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do, but for me, not a bad idea for me in my portfolio to get into a little bit more Cardano. That's just me. And then also, just as a side note, I know people talk about it being a vaporware. There's a link in the description. I call it the Cardano Ghost Chain. And you can look at all these different slides, but there's a lot of projects being built on Cardano. I mean, right now you got 1,003, and that's just from 6th of June. I don't know what's going on right now, but it's probably a little bit more. Which will lead me to my next point, Cornucopias. Cornucopias is a play-to-earn game. I thought it was just a play-to-earn game, but apparently I'm incorrect. And it's using the Unreal Engine 5. I'm not a big developer. I just know it's got some really great graphics, and it looks pretty cool. But there's been some questions about how long this is going to take because there's been some lengthening of what's happening and how long it's going to be. So what I did was reach out to the guys, and this is Cornucopias. And just so you know, it's interesting because like everything's sold out. Where'd it go? All the land sold out on June 3rd. And then for the launch pads, a token launch, Vent, Paid, and Akamfi, they all sold out too. So good luck with that. But it looks like an interesting project. And I brought in two of the founders or co-founders. One is Robert Gregg. I think I said that. He's been building businesses and developing software for 20 years, various industries, real estate monitoring, cloud API business, sold one of the largest real estates in UK. And then also Josh, stake pool operator, Grow Your Stake, mission-driven, clean water for all, Cardano stake pool. You can use that one or DNews, whichever you want to do. And I brought these guys in just to talk about what's going on with Cornucopias because, I mean, we had been talking like a year ago to have these guys on. They're like, we'll get to it. We're busy. Then I heard some rumblings about, them not producing enough. So I'm like, maybe this will be a good time. So anyhow, listen to this interview. It's a little bit on the longer side. We're looking at about 20 minutes. But if you are a Cardano fan, or maybe you want to know about Cornucopias, this will be the video to listen to. And after this, we'll do a little Q&A. So just take a listen. So as promised, what I want to do is I want to talk to a couple of gentlemen who could give us more insight as to what is going on with this this game, Cornucopias, built on the Cardano platform. So Josh and Rob, you've already been introduced. First of all, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. It's good to be here.
Hello there.
This has been a long time coming. How many times have we missed opportunities to get together?
Yeah, it's quite a while. I feel like we've been talking since before, we're definitely 2021 is when we first met. Yeah.
I know. So. And everybody on the show says the same thing. So like, Rob, what kind of games are you looking forward to? And I'm like, this, and Cornucopias. And like, you should talk to those guys. I'm like, I am talking to those guys. So that's what's been going on. So gents, what we'll do is I've got 4 questions for you. And the big thing is let's just catch everybody up to speed. First of all, what's Cornucopias and what makes it different from a random play-to-earn game? Second one is how has the community come along? How has it grown? And talk about the team that's building this project, because you don't really know where you're going until you know where you've been, especially with the team aspect. And then one of the last ones I want to talk about is delivery, because I hear rumblings about, why is this, what's going on behind the scenes? Why is this taking so long? And it's the same thing that I hear on different projects. So I just want to give people what they want. And lastly, of course, when Moon. So
okay,
let's start with the first one. And you guys can take it as any way you want to. What's Cornucopias? And what makes it different from any play-to-earn games? I looks nice, looks great, but what makes it different?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with play to earn. So we're changing the way we're phrasing that to play and earn. And what's different is we also have build and earn and learned and earn in the much further future. But play and build are going to be a lot available quite a bit more soon, which is great. So yeah, we want to build it so that it is fun, and earning happens to be a part that comes with that. But we're building this so that people want to play, and what it is, it's a variety of different lands. Cornucopias is there's going to be theme zones, a variety of different theme zones that people can go in, and it has a certain look and feel, and you can take raw materials and you can build and participate in this in-game economy. There's eventually going to be a city where people can do different kinds of commerce there as well. And then there's also these custom domes, which are very interesting. That sale is coming up here in a couple of days, actually, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to do the NFT custom dome sale. And what those are different. Those are for, and this is very different. Those are for the entrepreneur, the person that wants to get in and build out a PvP game, for example, or they want to bring in their NFT projects and showcase them and just build out custom buildings. It's not just for the entrepreneur. You might want to just get in there and build use our building kit and build out a commercial building on a tropical island and use the tropical building kit as well. And so there's a variety of building kits that we're going to provide people that own these NFTs so that they can build out their own custom PvP game or, whatever it is. So have a concert, a festival experience, which you've seen in that video that we showed you as well. So there's a lot going on with the project and a lot that makes this different. I could really talk about that for quite a while. The final thing that I'll say, though, is we're some of the few that are already really significantly using Unreal Engine 5, because that just came available about 3 months ago. And we're spearheading that with the UE5 technology, and it allows for a lot. It's the most significant release in gaming history of any gaming engine, and we are on the forefront of that. A lot of other projects couldn't start with that because they're so far along with UE4 that it's just going to take them 6 months to a year to transfer all their assets over to UE5. So there's a lot that we've been able to capitalize on in using that technology.
Yeah,
I don't know if Rob would add anything to that or not. Yeah,
Rob, what do you got here?
Yeah, I mean our game itself is a metaverse, and the metaverse is in different parts to it. So we're starting off with the gaming side where you can travel from one zone to another zone and interact, and there's a whole economies that happen within there, and zones trading with other zones, and lots of mechanics to get really stuck into. And then I think it's really exciting, and we've gamified that. And then later on, we're also building a city, and that's going to be more how people kind of expect the metaverse to be with people then walking around and interacting with each other. But the main focus of our game is that it's going to be a great looking metaverse built on UE5, and it's going to be fun. A fun game is at the heart of what we're doing, alongside with the community.
Yeah, sounds good. And then as you guys were talking, I spliced in just a little bit of the video. So just real quick, on that video that we just saw on the overlay, how much of that was actual in-game play, and how much was a rendering? Was that all rendering, or was that did it actually was?
No, there's actual real gameplay in there for sure. And yeah, like that is a rendering to give a cinematic effect,
Right.
But don't let that take away from the reality of we had to build those assets so that you could run around and do these things right now. So, for example, in Kopi Cafe, which is that's a show that Rob and I do, where we both communicate as CEOs to our community what we're up to. Right? That's all it is. It's just kind of direct to our community. We did a video last week where we showcased. We had our devs on there running around in that building, showing the NFTs, looking around at the bubble jets and the art that's in the building, and you know, so to prove to people, no, these are real assets. We're not building something just for show. Yes, we want to showcase things in a very sexy and cinematic way, but that's with the actual assets that have been entirely custom produced and are ready to go. And you can run around and do demos. So we've got a lot of demo videos on our YouTube channel, and we've got more coming soon.
Great. Yeah, so I'll link that YouTube channel below. You guys can check it out. And then I guess that would lead me to my next perfect segue question. So how's the community coming along? And then talk about all the things that's being built and the team that's building this project.
Yeah, the team, we now have 25 internal staff and 15 contractors. So there's over 40 people at the moment currently working on our team. And we're expanding, controlled, but we built the team and we built the game using agiles so that we can scale up whenever we're ready. We don't want to grow too fast, but we want it nice and controlled. So we have artists, we have developers, we have programmers, we have back office staff as well. We have a couple of analysts, we have story writers, we have tokenomics and economics. Now like Josh said, we build every single asset, and this takes time to do this. So we build everything from the sand and the grass all the way up to the procedural clouds, and everything that you see within that UE5 game, we built originally. Some of them were built on UE4, but we knew that UE5 was coming, so we built them compatible so we could switch over. So when UE5 then went live, we quickly migrated all that the artwork and the programming that we'd done to UE5. So it was almost seamless. So we were there and ready. And I think one of the first projects to actually have a working prototype on UE5.
That's pretty awesome. I guess it's just, it's the right place at the right time. Just like Josh said, if you had to start with UE4, you have to backtrack everything to go to UE5, this Unreal Engine. And I got to tell you, it looks pretty darn good. And then Josh, anything to add to that?
Well, yeah, you'd asked about the community and the team. And I just want to say that our team is, we've got just a bunch of, we're incredibly fortunate to have hired really, really well. We have some amazing players on our team that are very passionate, very motivated, very incentivized to do what they do. And we just have a great culture. And I can't say it enough. Like, we're really thankful for the team that we have and the people that are on board. It is huge for what we're doing. In addition to that, our community, we've been very, very intentional about building a community that is creative, that is inspired, that is positive, that's fun. When you get into our Discord, for the most part, there's a lot of just people in there that just love our project and are having fun. And it's great. It's really cool to have the community, the size that we have at this point. We've actually intentionally kept it down by removing bots, by keeping and really cultivating a very organically grown community. And we've done that with intention. that we want to keep it positive, and we want to have a very educated and well-informed community on what we're building, so that they can help self-moderate and help when this community goes to 4X. When we release these games and things go public and things explode, we're prepared to handle the influx of volume that comes. And so there's a lot of strategy to what we do there. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add there.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then like, I mean, you guys have already grown pretty fast. I know with Twitter, you got like around 40,000, Discord looking at 5-6, Telegram, another 10,000 there. And then even this video that you guys put out, which was, gosh, this was yesterday, I want to say. The one that we actually showed, you already had almost 5,000 views just for a demo of a gameplay. So pretty nice.
Yeah, it's getting some nice traction there. I like it. We're pumped about that. A lot of positive feedback.
We have a great community, and the community also help us during our test phases as well. So we test our public alphas. We're testing with the community, and then we're expanding that. So we're currently working on a mobile game at the same time. So the mobile game is in early pre-alpha, and actually some of our community have done a few live streams playing those games, and the feedback that we've had has been amazing, in terms of positive feedback and what they think of the game. They've not been holding back, so we're looking at updating quite a few elements of that, but also that's helping us to build the APIs for the Unreal Engine 5 game. So the community is instrumental to how we're moving our games and the metaverse forward. We're constantly listening to their feedback.
Yeah, perfect. Well, you're building on a pretty good platform, Cardano. So that's a pretty passionate, different project right there. But I remember, Josh, we talked about this, about the mobile version. I was like, that's going to be huge. And then, time got in the way. So you guys have a pretty tall order. And that would lead me to my next question, which is delivery. So I know there's been some rumblings here and there about when is this going to happen? What is going on? It seems like it does take a long time to make something right. But talk to us about delivery and what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I appreciate you asking it. So in terms of delivery, we could have taken a few of our programmers and released a game 2 months into this. If we use entirely bought assets off of the Unreal Engine shelf. I mean, you can use marketplaces all over the place. There's a lot of projects out there that are doing that. They're just buying other assets, other people's artwork, and putting that in, and then getting a programmer to set up the functions and features, and you've got a game, right? That can be done fairly quickly. But we're not building for the quick win. We're building to build something and do it right. There's not been any AAA game that has been successful that's used somebody else's assets. It doesn't happen. So we're building all of our assets entirely custom, and we have had people play the game. So recently at the Consensus conference, we had our racing game up on the big screen in the Cardano booth. Tamara Hassan, the president of IOHK, played the game. Joshua Miller at IOHK, NFT manager, I forget the exact title, played the game in front of a large people in the Cardano booth. And now that's a small micro version, demo version of the game, but people are getting to use our game. And coming up soon at the CNFT Con event, we're going to have multiple different areas of the game that people are going to get to play. And you know what? That is really fast. That is incredibly fast with entirely custom art and the quality of what we've done. We've only been in business for a little bit over a year. To be doing that is remarkable. Now, people don't realize how long it takes to do something well, and we have moved with tremendous speed.
Now, sorry, Rob. I was going to say I hear about it as far as like to create a game. You're talking about years. It takes like years, and now you guys are actually in the forefront for that Unreal Engine 5. So that's pretty impressive. Anyhow, Rob, sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, we're not in building a game or metaverse of this size. It's not, you can't just come out and just produce a bit of a fighting game. Not only are we building the assets, but we're laying down the infrastructure as well. We've done now almost a year's worth of analysis and design and planning of the back office of how all the metaverse joins together. We've been working on the underlying story or the lore for the last 6 months as well. We've not released that. We've released hints of it on our Wikipedia, which is what we've created, a Copy Wiki, which is over 200 pages describing the history of the project and where and an overview of where it's going in the future. You know, we've pioneered NFT staking, which is something that we've worked with our partner Drip Drops, and we released that last week. This is something that's open to all projects on Cardano. So we're not just building infrastructure for ourselves, we're building infrastructure that we can share with other projects. And we've also built our own minting technology, which all projects, I think a lot of projects, when they first start to mint on any blockchain, if you get this huge demand, either your website falls over or the tech underneath it really struggles. So we've invested quite heavily in our own NFT technology, and this was capable, and this was seen in the last few mints that we did, where we sold out within less than 20 seconds, and that was with big demand. So we're building lots more than the game. There's a lot more that has to happen to put all the pieces together.
Yeah, it's got to be tough because there's so many unknowns, I think, in this new arena coming out. But even with us knowing how many potentially how many unknowns are out there, I still have to ask the question. Let's just talk about real quick timelines. How long? Because like when I hear about all these things that are going on, the things you're trying to do, are we talking like 3 years, 4 years out to get this to play?
Yeah, that's a moving target, right? So what exactly does that mean? Is the question. You know, if you look at projects like Star Atlas, I'm a fan of theirs, really cool project. I think they said they're not delivering anything until, or I don't know about anything, but they said about 8 years, right? For what they're working on. We're going to release in phases and get customer feedback. We're going to get gamer community feedback so that we can test, create that feedback loop, and really refine, improve, and grow, right? So we're targeting a core game loop in the beginning of 2023. That's what we're hunkering down to really focus on building right now. And yeah, we'd like to get a core game loop out. Now, is that the full vision of everything that's in our white paper and our wiki? No, absolutely not. But that is enough for people to get started, to travel in their bubble jet to the starter island, to travel from the starter island to the theme zone, to run around and do things within that theme zone. That's that sort of thing, which is fantastic. That's a huge accomplishment.
The MVP, you know, it's really important, and this is why Cardano is brilliant, because it has the testnet. So we'll be putting our game on the testnet. We'll be able to see if our economics and all our formulas are actually working, because the last thing we want to do is for players to come in and then either the game is too tough or it pays out to too many rewards in one direction. So we get the beauty of testing on this full-blown blockchain, really, which is the Cardano testnet, and then we can test that with a small group of our community, and then we can open that up, and then eventually I think we'll have thousands of community members testing our game on the testnet, and then when we're happy and when they're happy, we'll then move over to mainnet, knowing that we've had this whole testing and release schedule like you've never seen a game done before.
That's crazy. Okay, we'll see how it all works out. That's a tall order, gents. We'll see how that rolls. So first of all, thanks for coming in. It's been some time to get you here. I'm glad you guys.
Thanks for being patient with us. I've wanted to be on. You produce great content. You're doing a great job. Anybody that's watched your show has been left off better for it. So we're just slammed. So thanks for having us on.
I know how it goes. But lastly, let's just on a light note, when are we going to see a moon for this market? Rob, I'll start with you. When are we going to turn this thing around?
Well, we have sunlight, and within our game, we can go from daybreak to, so we have moons in there already. They're all coming. Might not be the type of moon you're talking about, but yeah, we already have moon.
Gotcha.
But but we're now in, we're in a crypto bear market where, you know, everybody's a little bit fearful. The community is a lot smaller, and it's perfect for us now to get our heads down and start building through this bear market. And that's our plan, to test with the community, like I say, on testnet. And then in a couple of years from now, when the market comes back and we go into a bull cycle, you know, we're there ready with a fully tested metaverse ready to go. So that's when we think that, well, I'm expecting all the community to grow. We've seen with Axie Infinity, they started off with 10,000 users, then very quickly they went to 100,000, 250,000, 500. So you have to be ready for that. They went so quickly, but we will have now a couple of years to test and build that infrastructure ready for that next bull market.
I gotta tell you, great answer, because that's what you want to see. You want to see someone with its focus, seeing what you want to do, cut out the noise, get to the finish line. Josh, what do you got?
Well, Wind Moon. So I don't want to underestimate the macroeconomic forces of international markets that have been affected greatly by monetary policies of governments around the world, right? So that's a big thing, and I think that we're all feeling the impact of decisions made all around the world, somewhat related to COVID and overall monetary policy. But so I say that, I don't want to underestimate, but I do feel like with Cardano, we have a amazing thing happening with the Vasil hard fork occurring very soon. And the large number of projects that are building on Cardano that will be unfolding and becoming a lot more public in the near future, and driving transactional volume and bringing new liquidity into the space. There's so much that can happen there that I feel like that we're somewhat isolated thanks to the slow pace of Cardano. And it's now positioned to where there's going to be an entire new blooming ecosystem within Cardano that I think that it may not experience the effects of the global macroeconomic forces as profoundly as some of the other chains out there. So I'm excited about that. And to take that even more micro with what we're doing at Cornucopias, I couldn't be more bullish about our project. I'm so excited of all the things that we have releasing soon. So
Gotcha. Well said. And then I'll just add this, that I know that people will say, Cardano, what's going on? It takes so long. It just takes time to get things right. Look at the ecosystem in 2020, now 2021, November 2021. Now this is just April 2022, and God knows how fast it's actually grown. So gents, again, I want to say thanks for coming on the show. We all appreciate it. And that is it. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
All right, let's jump back.
Good to see you.
And we're back. Well, I want to say again, thanks, gents, for coming on. Finally got these guys on. I think I've been talking to them for over a year or so to come back. So I got to say, I'm pretty happy that we're able to get that done and go from there. If you want to find any more information about Cornucopias, there is a link in the description. And again, metaverse play to earn gaming, build to earn, learn to earn, that type of thing. And it looks cool, but you got to understand, like these types of plays are really long plays. And this is not like, hey, I'm going to get rich next month. But it looks promising. We'll see how it goes. And that will conclude today's news. So look, I know that took a long time, but it was a good interview. I was appreciate those guys come by. Now that is it. So if you got to take off, get out of here. You've been here for 38 minutes or so. But if you want to stick around, I'm going to do the Q&A. I'll answer all your questions, and they are spicy. Let me tell you, in the comments, I was just perusing the comments. Great stuff. So I'll go over all those things, and we'll jump into the Q&A. A lot of people, I got to tell you, if there's one project that people will be vocal about, it is Cardano, and that is just the truth. So let's just go